Slow down there, big fella. Ooh, all right. Wow. Coffee? All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Clinic. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Last full day in Napa, here on the balcony. Got the fire pit rolling. Beautiful backdrop. It's the Behringer Winery behind us there. The Alila property here is gorgeous in St. Helena. If you ever get the opportunity, highly recommend it. All right, lot going on today, man. So it's interesting. It is freezing here. It's 30. I think it's 34 right now. 34 degrees this morning. It rained last night and part of the day yesterday. It's rained here this morning. So it's been odd wine country to be here when it's cold and rainy. It feels more like Seattle than it does Napa, but has not deterred us in any way. Been a great trip. We've had some awesome stuff planned and had a really, really good time. So Trinchero yesterday was phenomenal. But anyway, that's not why y'all are watching. Not to hear about the trip. I know everybody wants to talk sports, so it's cool. We'll do that. A couple things I got there was catching up on some headlines this morning. I was catching up on some headlines this morning. Saw Diana Rossini has a report that Derek Carr wants $35 million per year. If that's the case, the Saints should punt. They should pass on Derek Carr. Not okay with that kind of contract for a guy that's his best days of ball are behind him, and you're not going to win a championship with him. So we'll see if the Saints are able to make a play. And Carr told Diana Rossini, the report is that he's willing to be patient and vet all his options. But I mean, if you're San Francisco and you feel like you are what the Rams were a year ago, and you're a competent quarterback away from winning a championship, you want to make that push, okay. The Saints aren't that team. So the restructures have continued. Tyrann Mathieu, Ryan Ramczyk, Demario Davis, so Will Lutz. They restructured Will Lutz. That's only significant because Lutz was a potential cap casualty. He was a cut candidate. So the fact that they restructured him tells you that they still believe in him as their place kicker, and he'll be back with the team. But so that's one interesting note. A couple other things. Saw Malik Nabers had the gun charge dropped against him. I'm actually glad to see that. Some may say, well, it's preferential treatment for an LSU football player, and maybe there's a degree of that. But you have a young guy who's a good kid, who's got no criminal record whatsoever, enrolled in college, bright future, did a dumb thing. He was carrying a firearm without a permit. Dumb thing to do. An illegal thing to do. But do we really want to put that kid in prison? Do we really want to give that kid a criminal record? Do we really want to ruin that kid's future, alter that kid's future because of one bad mistake, where I'll grant you could have been worse. Thankfully it wasn't. But I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. I'm glad to see that. Malik Nabers being in prison for 6 months or any amount of time would have, I don't think, served anybody. So, and what else? LSU baseball tonight. Round Rock Classic. Looking forward to that. Probably not going to get to watch it, y'all, out here in Cali, especially with the time difference and what our day schedule's like. I know the games are streaming. I believe on D1 Baseball is streaming them. So I'll be honest. Y'all give me some feedback. Are you all going to pay the money to stream LSU baseball this weekend? Please let me know. I would love to know if you all intend to pay the money to stream LSU baseball this weekend. Let me know. All right. Let's say some good mornings here. See what y'all got. Trivia Carter finally got you in the middle of a morning run. All right, man. Thanks for being there. That run in. Shane O'Mac, good morning. Gregory Carter, Will Davis, Wendell Norman, Joseph Fallsgraf, what's going on? Eric Wilderrider, it's crazy to me how mediocre Carr is, yet whatever NFC South team he lands would be the favorite in the division. The carrot in front of the Saints really worries me. You know, Eric, the thing about that, though, and I agree with you, ultimately they'd still have to make the money work with Carr, and I think he's going to have better options. Maybe not. But if Derek Carr ends up with multiple options, multiple suitors, I can't believe the Saints are going to be his best option. So maybe Derek Carr will save the Saints from themselves in this situation. I did see, though, y'all, I saw where apparently there are reports that Tampa is going to roll with Kyle Trask. Boy, if that's the case, I have a standing bet with Larry Holder about Kyle Trask becoming a starter in the NFL. So if Tampa goes that route, I may lose that bet with Larry. So I got to go back and revisit it. What the bet was? I know it involved bourbon for me. I don't know if it was the same for him, but anyway, so find out soon. Kyle DeVille, good morning. Thoughts on the Kamara situation? Admittedly, Kyle, I don't know if there's anything more than just that he was indicted. I'm not in any way surprised that he was indicted. To get an indictment from a federal grand jury really requires nothing other than the opinion that a crime could have been committed. So it is actually very easy to get an indictment. An indictment is not the same as a conviction. It's essentially just formally bringing charges against this person. So I'm not surprised at all that Kamara was indicted. We'll see what happens with the legal proceedings as they play out. But, it's raining again. I don't know if you can hear that. But remember, the NFL doesn't need a conviction in order to punish as part of their personal conduct policy. So, I do believe Kamara will be suspended by the NFL for violation of their personal conduct policy. When and for how long, I don't know that, but I do believe he will serve a suspension. Where are we? Dale Broussard, beautiful golf weather in Lafayette. Doc Holiday 504, good morning. Eric, do you have to pack a specific bag of luggage for shoes now? No, but I did bring 8 pair of sneakers, so we had to get a little creative with how I made them fit. But yeah, good trick. Take your socks and your underwear and shove them in your shoes. Good way to save space and maintain the form of your shoes. That's what I did. I took all my socks, all my underwear, like night shirts, and shoved them in my shoes to save space and to keep the form of the shoes so they didn't get crushed. Pro tip. A little disappointed though. Twice this week I've gone after a couple of Nike drops, the Adobe Dunks a couple days ago, and then this morning they had the Wolf Grays, and I missed out on both of them. I missed both drops at Ruckus, and I missed both on the Nike app, so I'm a little bummed, man. Those were 2 pairs that I really wanted. And it's just kind of disappointing. It's like, you can make more shoes. You're artificially creating demand, which I understand why you're doing it, but how about sell more shoes? Like, I'm trying to give you money for your product. Let me give you money for your product. Anyway. Brian Wynn, good morning. Spurge, good morning. Armstrong Grappling, good morning. Absolutely paying. This should mean Carr. Kyle DeVille, can the Saints draft Gibbs or Robinson or a wide receiver? I'd be very okay with them drafting Jahmyr Gibbs. I think it's a matter of where. I don't. Man, this. Well, let me think about how I want to say this. This may not be a popular opinion, because I think my guess is most Saints fans want to see the Saints with their first 2 picks probably go like defensive line quarterback, like Hendon Hooker and a big defensive lineman. And I'd be cool with that. But I'd also tell you, man, they've got so many holes to fill that I'm really okay with them going best player available at 29 and at 40. If that's Jahmyr Gibbs, cool. They need running back help. If that's defensive line, edge rusher, great. If it's Hendon Hooker, awesome. You know, if it's help at safety, sure. I mean, they need it. We'll see what happens with the offensive line. Andrews Pete is Trevor Penning ready to be a starter? Is that a tackle or is that a guard? You may need an offensive lineman. I'd kind of be okay with them going whatever direction they go, as far as best available. Let's see. Glenn Garner, no sir. Cajun Maddox is free. What am I missing there? What did I say? I must have said something wrong. Oh, sorry. I was asking if y'all are paying for, that's it. Sorry, I was asking if you're paying to watch baseball. Trivia Carter's is not paying. Hey, Janet, good morning. Glenn Garner, no sir. Cajun Maddox is free. So what's Cajun Maddox? I don't know what that means. What's Cajun Maddox? You gotta help me there. I don't know. I just saw that the games this weekend were streaming. I think D1 Baseball is streaming them if I saw it correctly. But what's Cajun Maddox? I'm a little out of the loop, obviously. Joseph Fallsgraf, good morning. David, paying to watch LSU play just because I love LSU baseball. Okay. Spurge, love LSU baseball, but a big no on paying for it. Okay. Jason Mobile, did you hit on the Wolf Gray dunks? I did not. I'm a little bummed, Jason. I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. That's twice this week. Pairs of dunks that I really, really, really wanted, and I don't know how it works. Thing went live at 7 a.m. Pacific. I'm on. Within, literally as soon as the button came up, I hit it. I hit purchase. Literally within a second. How am I not in line? How do I not get the shoes that I'm trying to purchase? Anyway. Let's see. Adib Abraham. Would you risk playing Tommy White this weekend or wait until the Texas game? Adib, it's a good question, man. If he's healthy, yeah. I don't know. There's always a risk anytime you play. So if he can swing the bat and do the things he needs to do to play, yeah, I'd play him. I don't know is there a giant difference from Friday to Tuesday? Maybe. So specifically your question about holding him for Texas. But none of these games matter as much as you get into conference play. So, it's kind of I'm kind of not answering your question and answering your question at the same time, which is, I'm not holding him for Texas. I'm not holding him for anything. As soon as he's ready to play him. That makes sense. Let's see. Eric Hart, good morning. What did you think of Restoration Hardware last night? Yeah, man, it was a great recommendation, dude. Erica said that you put that on her radar, and then she went and looked at a bunch of TikTok videos and all of it. What a gorgeous place. So Restoration Hardware is obviously a store, but there's also restaurants around the country as well. So we went to the one in, I think it was in Sonoma. Anyway, whatever. Gorgeous. They're, as far as ambiance setting, just stunningly beautiful. Had the lobster roll, which was great. Oddly though, they don't have dessert. This is the weirdest thing. So we eat, and the waiter just brings us the bill. There was no, can I get you guys anything else? Would you like another round of drinks? He just brought us a check, and we're like, So he came back. I waved him over. I was like, "Hey, like, are y'all closing? Like, can we have another round?" He's like, "Oh, sure. I just assumed you want." I was like, "No, we want another round." So, and there was no dessert menu, no coffee, no dessert. It was weird. Like, I mean, and the restaurant closed at 9. So food was great. Ambiance was great. I would recommend it for that reason to anybody. It was just a weird thing. Like, I don't think I can remember going to a restaurant, like a full service restaurant, that doesn't have a dessert menu. I mean, usually I don't even want dessert, but normally it's like, here's your dessert and coffee menu. Did you save room for dessert? You know what I mean? Like, anyway. You know, normally it's just a way that restaurants add to a check at the end. That was weird. But yes, Restoration Art was gorgeous. I would recommend anybody go. Just understand, like, you're not going to eat dessert there. Educator, would you think it's too early for Hooker by pick 29? Do you think he can play in 23? This is Samuel Merrifield. Hey, Samuel Merrifield. So listen, man, I don't think 29 is too early to draft your quarterback if you think he's a franchise player. Now, the caveat is someone else on the... I'll give you a hypothetical. And I know every team does this. Every team has their draft board, right? So they rank their players in the draft. And so, like, if you rate your players and, like, you give a first-round grade, let's say you give a first-round grade to 12 players in the draft. I'm just throwing that out there. Let's say 12 players get a first-round grade. Well, you're picking at 29, and one of your 12 is still on the board. Well, if you feel like you're getting a top 12 player in the draft at 29, you take that player. Like, the example that I'll always give for that is Ryan Ramczyk. When the Saints traded Brandon Cooks and got the 32nd pick from the Patriots, they're sitting there at 32, and Ryan Ramczyk was on the board. Well, the Saints had Ryan Ramczyk graded as the best tackle in that year's draft class. And he was sitting on there at 32. They didn't need a tackle. They had a left tackle at the time, and Zach Strief was there. With Teron Armstead, they had Zach Strief as their right tackle. So they didn't need a starting tackle. They didn't need one. But he was the best player available, and they took it. Well, in camp that year, Zach Strief tears his ACL, or towards whatever happened to Zach. I can't remember his ACL or Achilles or something. Zach Strief gets hurt. Ramczyk starts and has never given up a spot, right? So, and is arguably, when healthy, the best right tackle in football. So that's where I would say, if at 29, that's the caveat I give you. If at 29 there's a player that you have a high grade on, you take it. But if you are, but if you're just asking, like, do I personally think Hendon Hooker would be worth a 29th pick? I do. Let's see. Gregory Carter, ideal quarterback plan for the Saints. Sign an inexpensive veteran and draft a quarterback that you hope develops and you hit on him. Glenn Garner, Cajun Mantix. It's someone posting games on YouTube. Okay, got it. Joseph Allsgraf, what's going on? Glenn Garner, H.D. Williams. Morning, my first live morning Scone show. So, Cajun Maddox's YouTube. Okay, so what? So it's a YouTube channel that's illegally going to stream the game. That's just going to, like, take the feed and stream it, I would guess, or is that, like, a legal thing they're doing? I really don't know. Sergeant King, Carr, trash 2.0. You know, man, I don't think Derek Carr's trash. I think he's a better. I mean, I'll say this again, and y'all, I'm nothing if I'm not consistent. And I'll give you my opinion. I'll share the same opinion on every platform I'm on, so as to be consistent. I don't say something one place and not another place. I'll tell you how I feel. Y'all know that. Like, Derek Carr, in my opinion, Derek Carr is a better option than anything the Saints had on the roster this year. Derek Carr is a better option than Jameis. He's a better today is a better option than Andy Dalton. Better option than anything the Saints had on the roster. I also do not believe Derek Carr. I believe Derek Carr's best days are behind him, and the Saints are not close to winning a championship. Would they be better this year with Derek Carr? Yes. Would they be a contender? Absolutely not. So, anyway, I am not opposed to the Saints signing Derek Carr. I am opposed to the Saints signing Derek Carr at $35 million per year and mortgaging the future even further for a player that I believe is past his prime and will not be a championship caliber quarterback. Will not lead the Saints to a championship. Could he lead the Saints in a bad division to a 9-8 record, a wild card playoff berth, and an early exit? Absolutely. Am I okay mortgaging future years of potential success by overpaying for a quarterback that's not going to get me where I want to be? No, I'm not okay with that. But that's the difference. I believe the Saints feel like their roster is close, and I don't. Eric Hart, I didn't realize that. I was so full on food and copious amounts of wine when we went. That's pretty much how it goes here. Weston Weaver, let's see, Jared Poydras, good morning. Cliff Nelson, good morning. You think Jameis still has a future in the NFL? Yeah, for sure. I don't know if it'll be as a starter somewhere this year, but I certainly believe that there's a team that will sign him and he'll have a chance to compete. Like, it wouldn't surprise me, for example, I'll give you a hypothetical. The Colts. I think the Colts are a great landing spot. Colts are going to draft a quarterback. We'll see who it is, but they've got the fourth pick. Let's say they draft C.J. Stroud and bring in Jameis. Well, maybe you play Jameis until Stroud is ready. That sort of thing. Like, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Dalton Barnett, good morning. Trivia, don't call it illegal, Matt. Be cool. Call it what you want, bro. It's all semantics. Thomas Lamont, it's been a while since I mainly looked forward to watching an LSU baseball game just to see a guy pitch. But that's how I feel right now about Skeens. I mean, Thomas, that's what it was like watching Aaron Nola. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see. There were two guys since. Well, Alex Lang obviously was amazing, but two guys since then that that had that ability that unfortunately for different reasons we'd never really got to see it manifest. One was Jaden Hill, if y'all remember. I mean, Jaden Hill was a dude built like a linebacker throwing 98 miles an hour, but injuries, ended his LSU career. And then the other was Cole Henry. I mean, Cole Henry is maybe the biggest, empty pit in my belly when I think about great LSU pitchers, because Cole Henry was filthy. But we really only got to see him in the COVID year. And so he pitched the pre-conference schedule, so we got to see him for 3 weeks. He dominated. People forget, he dominated for 3 weeks, and then they shut down the season, and then he was drafted because he was drafted eligible sophomore. So we've seen guys come along that we just never got to see it manifest. Can you imagine what a rotation would a healthy Jaden Hill, Cole Henry rotation, Landon Marceau, what that might have looked like? Oh, I mean, yeah. Let's see, where are we? But yes, but to the point, I think it was Thomas. Yeah, to the point, Thomas. I'm with you, man. Watching Paul Skeens this year is going to be awesome. I mean, he's going to be a guy that's potential first pitcher, certainly potential first collegiate pitcher. Him and Chase Dolander are the probably the first two collegiate pitchers taken. So it'll be fun to watch those guys. David Bass, do you see Jay stacking the lineup with all the best hitters, try to break a team's true ace, using Skeens to limit LSU's need for top defense players in the field? So David, I understand the question. Basically, do you trade defense for offense, right? But with this lineup, I don't think you have to compensate anywhere, right? I mean, where are you putting a bat in the field instead of a glove? I mean, maybe I could argue. maybe if your outfield was, if you put Joe Bear in the outfield instead of Josh Stevenson, like Stevenson would be a better glove, but Stevenson's not so dramatically better defensively than a guy like Josh Pearson that it warrants taking the bat out of the lineup. So, I mean, maybe Jack Merrifield's a better second baseman than Gavin Dugas, but not so much better at that position. That once again, I'll say this because I know we've had this conversation over the years, like about a guy like Milazzo. There are 3 spots on the field where I would sacrifice a bat for a premium, for an elite glove, and that's at a premium defensive position, and that's up the middle. It's catcher, shortstop, center field. You would sacrifice a bat to have an elite catcher, an elite shortstop, an elite center fielder, and we've seen that. Early in his career, Michael Papierski was not a great hitter, but he was such a dominant catcher. He played every day. In 2009, Austin Nola went into shortstop, and they moved LeMahieu to second because Paul Maneri wanted better defense at short, wanted to be able to turn more double plays. And then in 2013, we saw Andrew Stevenson play center despite hitting 180, whatever he hit, because he caught everything in center field. And you had enough offense in the lineup. With this team, I don't think that's a problem because, I mean, Neal and Bear Jones are both great offensive players, but they're also great catchers. So, you can use Milazzo as a late inning defensive replacement. Thompson is your best shortstop. He's also a great hitter. Dylan Cruz is the best player in college baseball. So I don't need to sacrifice anything with this lineup. That's the point. Like, this lineup has got so much talent and so much depth. Like, I mean, I understand the question. I just don't think it's a problem. Like, I can roll. I mean, you played that lineup last weekend and didn't commit an error. I mean, so like, I guess if Tommy White's out, you keep rolling with Napolt at third and Dugas at second. When Tommy White comes back, he goes to third, Napolt goes to the bench, you keep Dugas at second. If Dugas starts to struggle, you can look at Napolt or Gavin Guidry at second. But Dugas sure didn't struggle to start the season, bro. So, I understand the question, man. I don't think that's really part of the consideration, man. Sorry, I mean, David, long way of answering your question, but I got a lot of time this morning. Erica's sleeping, and it's, I think it's, I don't have my watch on, but anyway. Do me a favor, please, smash that like button. 84 y'all watching live, appreciate that. Smash that like button. Subscribe up to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so yet. Appreciate y'all. As always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Hudco Roofing, love to give you a free, no obligation roofing inspection, so give us a shout at Hudco. Restored Motions, book a session with Crystal Poche. I am absolutely going to go see her when I get back. Sleeping in a hotel bed and flying on a plane always causes me to shift a little bit, so go see Crystal when we get back. And ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com, electric vehicle chargers, home, commercial building. I've said it before, if you're a car dealer, work at a car dealership, own a car dealership, manage one, know someone who does, car dealerships have to have EV chargers in order to get their inventory to sell. So if you need an EV charger, ProCharge can turn it around in roughly 2 days. They got inventory, they got the installers, and they have the entire Southeast. So it doesn't matter if you're in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida. ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. Right. Let's see. Cliff Nelson, Telly Rock, good morning. She's still sleeping, but I will when I see her. Let's see. How about Lamar turning down $50 million per year? God bless him, man. Let's see, Joseph. So you draft your quarterback, Hendon, re-sign Dalton. Whoever wins the job in camp gets the job. Yeah, it's fine. I'm fine with that. Craig Dugas, top of the morning. Mad McMahon running wild basketball school. Now we ride. I was very happy to see LSU break the losing streak. Nice to see the women's basketball team get the win as well. So I'm hopeful that the men can go get a win over Ole Miss, make it back-to-back, and finish strong. Mark Hammond, good morning. Dalton Barnett, any chance Harold Perkins will be treated like Will Anderson, completely schemed out of games? I'm sure teams will try to do it, but then Dalton, that's the onus is on Matt House to find a way to get him involved, right? You move him around, you get creative. But again, Dalton, I'm gonna say it again, like Harold Perkins is going to be an inside linebacker. He's not going to be a jack. Gregory Gordy, good morning. Kyle DeVille, Thomas Lamont. Any word if we'll see Tommy White today? I haven't heard, honestly, Thomas. I mean, I am so disengaged, a little disconnected being out here, and I haven't tried to make phone calls to to find out what's going. I mean, I'm on vacation, so I do morning scones. I'm here every day, but man, we've been on the go. We had full days of visiting wineries and great meals and seeing stuff. And so I'll sort of re-engage tomorrow whenever we're flying home tomorrow. So I don't know what time the game is tomorrow. Play during the day. I might be flying at that time. Good, I could maybe watch the game on the plane. That'd be awesome. You go way to pass time. Cody Boudreaux, Matt, why do your clothes fit so bad? Is it because your measurements are not that of a mannequin? By the way, have a good trip. I don't know what you mean, Cody, by saying my clothes fit so bad. What do you mean my clothes fit so bad? I'm wearing a hoodie, bro. A hoodie isn't supposed to be form-fitting, is it? I mean, what's wrong with that? And I'm wearing joggers. I'm wearing a hoodie and joggers. And look, they're tapered around the ankle. So, what do you mean my clothes fit so bad? Anyway, Gregory Gordy, what's Otter's thoughts on LSU baseball, Natty? I don't know. I don't have an estimate. I mean, I would tell you that if you're making a bet, I'd probably. I don't know what the odds are, but I don't even know if you can get an LSU or the field type bet, but what he would probably suggest you do is you take a handful, same way you bet golf. You take a handful of teams you think have the best chance of winning. You split your bet. Try to win money that way, depending on what the odds are. Let's see. S. Dwan, add Carr to Dennis Allen. Yeah, that should win you Super Bowl. I hope that's tongue in cheek. Cliff Nelson wins a makeup day for Tallulah. Yeah, man. So the 10th. So the weekend of I believe it's the Samford series. So March the 10th. So that would be not 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today is Take Me Out to Tallulah. So for those that missed it, we had a really fun event planned at Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel. LSU game watch party for the opener. Beer from Rally Cap. Taylor from Calandros was coming with some allocated whiskeys, giving out free samples. Discounted food and drink menu at Tallulah, big projector screens showing the game. And, of course, because of the cold weather, they moved the opener up to 3 o'clock, and so we had to scrap the event. So, Take Me Out to Tallulah, March the 10th, 2 weeks from today. I believe it's the Friday of the Samford series. Where are we? Shelby, of course, Dugas didn't struggle. He's from Homa. We put out monsters like Mason Smith. Gavin Dugas has been a great story, man. It's funny. Alden Cartwright deserves a little bit of the credit for getting Gavin Dugas to LSU. Cartwright is the one who pushed Maneri, really, really pushed Maneri to take a look at Dugas. And it's, he's battled some injuries during his career, but when he's been out there, he's been such he's the kind of guy. Gavin Dugas is the kind of guy that LSU has had on every championship team. The Louisiana guy who grew up loving the program, would give his arm to play for LSU. Maybe not big league potential. I'm not saying he doesn't. You got that kind of power. You always have the opportunity. You go to the next level, you can hit, you can slug your way through the farm system, and they'll find a spot for you as a DH or as a first baseman or something. But so I'm not going to say never, but but every LSU championship team has had a guy or guys like Gavin Dugas on it. So his value to the program, I think, is awesome. David Bass, enjoy the vacay. Thank you, man. Poundville, you think based on LSU recruiting and preseason predictions, we'll be in the Final Four for football? Kyle, it's hard for me to say yes because you're going to have to, because you're going to play Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and ultimately you still have to beat Georgia as well in the SEC championship game, even if you get there. And it's hard to predict that. So, do I think LSU is capable of that? Absolutely. And I think there's legit questions around Georgia, right? You lose your offensive coordinator, you lose your 30-year-old quarterback, and those had been the missing pieces when Kirby's teams had great defenses throughout the years, great talent. Well, now Monken leaves, you've got to replace Stetson Bennett. How does that go with Mike Bobo, and if it's Carson Beck or whoever the quarterback's going to be at Georgia? So, there's at least a legit question around Georgia. But they deserve the benefit of the doubt, right? And until someone beats them, they deserve the benefit of the doubt. So, do I expect LSU in the college football playoff? I do not. Do I think it is completely reasonable that they will be there? Yes, I do. Let's see. Cliff. Homa ain't Calicut, but I hear you. Now, it's true that another fact, Cliff, is that every LSU championship baseball team has had a player from Calicut on it. All 6 national championship teams have had a Calicut bear on it. I don't believe this team does, unless if there's a very obvious name that I'm forgetting. But file that away. Just saying. Let's see, will Ryan be on AFR today? I do not believe so. No Riot Radio Hour today. Thomas Lamont, just heard the Cartwright drop in my head. Cartwright! All right, Cliff, wonder if the Rally Frogs are pissed about LSU killing the companion show. Hashtag Scone After Dark. Companion shows were a lot of fun, man. I would love to be able to do those again someday, but as long as Guarantee's got the LSU contract and LSU keeps writing that into the contract, the companion shows are. So, anyway. All right, I think we're just about done. I'll give you all about a view this morning. Check out the view with me. How about it? Gorgeous. It's Main Street, and that's Main Street right there into St. Helena. So, actually goes that way. Those cars are going towards St. Helena. That way. Let's see what else I can see if I can flip this around. All right. I'll give you all a little look-see here. Got a little creek. Look at that rushing water down there in that creek. It's moving. That bridge right there goes from our property over to Behringer. That's the Behringer Winery. I'm here and show it to you. There it is. It's a beautiful spot. All these things, you can tell, they're like castles. They're like these family estates, old family estates that have been like converted into wineries. It's gorgeous. See the vineyards right here. It's a vineyard in the hills. Anyway, all right, y'all. Smash that like button if you would. As always, we appreciate you for being here with us. Subscribe up to the channel if you're new. And tell a friend. We're here for Morning Scone. Tomorrow's going to be an interesting Morning Scone. Fun fact, we are leaving the hotel at 6 a.m. Central. So that's, I'm sorry. 6 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Central. Our flight is 10 a.m. Pacific in San Francisco, which is about an hour and 45 minutes. So maybe Morning Scone from the car on the way to the airport tomorrow. Maybe from the airport before we board. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen for Morning Scone tomorrow, but it'll happen. Morning Scone will, of course, happen tomorrow. But we'll see y'all then when we do. So go Tigers. Let's hope the baseball Tigers get a win tonight. gonna go get some breakfast and a shower and get the day started. We got kind of vodka distillery. We're going Hanson Vodka Distillery. The same people that own Trinchero own Hanson, and so that was highly recommended. So we're going to do that today, and then we've got Whitehall Lane tonight, or this afternoon, Whitehall Lane, and then I don't know what our dinner plans are tonight. I think I'm all mapped out, but anyway, okay. Y'all have an awesome day. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.